So, welcome to our first thoughts on Xenoblade Chronicles X, the definitive edition. We're finally getting this game, we're finally playing it. It was on our bucket list. We talked about this game years ago, saying, I can't believe we've never gone all the way through it, because it came out on the Wii U 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
I know, it's crazy. I remember it coming out that Christmas and playing it going, this game is big. And I had a friend of mine that played it for 100 hours and he goes, I didn't even scratch the surface.
Oh no.
I know, but the funny thing is, Kim started playing the game and the first thing she said to me, she goes, goodbye, John.
I know, like, I'm not gonna see you again.
That's what she said, yeah, I'm not gonna see you again. And I'm like, what? Huh? Yeah, so we're gonna talk all about it today, and I'll ask you guys, are you excited about Xenoblade Chronicles X, the definitive edition? Are you playing it? Did you play back in the day, and you're like, hey, everybody should play this game? Let us know in the comments below.
Follow me. I promise, you're gonna love this.
And I just want to say something, if I talk a little bit more in this episode, even though Kim is here, Kim is just getting over laryngitis.
Yes.
So she just kind of lost her voice. It's just all coming back now. So I'll ask you though, Kim, what do you think about this game so far?
Well, I'm so happy to be back in the Xenoblade universe.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, at first it was like, oh man,
yeah,
here we go.
It's a little bit overwhelming, right?
Overwhelming? Where are those ice cabbages?
Oh my gosh, I remember that from all the Xenoblades back in the day. So Kim was kind of apprehensive.
A little bit.
A little bit, because she's finished every single Xenoblade game that's ever been released. So she looked at this one and she's like, there's another Xenoblade game? And I'm like, yeah, but this is from a long time ago. Yeah, you didn't know.
I forgot. 10 years ago, I mean, there's so much that happens in 10 years. But
yeah. So I just want to say that I walked away and I was like, Kim's like, oh man, this is like a lot. It's a lot. And I walked away and I went in the other room for hours, and then Kim was playing this game. And so I FaceTimed Kim in the other room and I said,
that was funny.
Yeah, and I'm like, I said, how you liking it? You're like, I love it.
I love it.
So please tell me why.
I mean, when you first start out, you get to make a character.
Yes.
Who doesn't love character designs?
Yeah.
When I got to do that, I got to pick the hair, I got to pick the eyes, the lips, I got to do little mole. I love the little details that you were even saying, like, okay, you gotta get in the game, like, but this is so much fun.
I know you're half an hour just like making the character. I'm like,
I can't
it's
help
so
it.
fun. Yeah, no, it's fun. It's fun. I remember enjoying making my character back in the day. So then you finished making your character, then what for you?
Then it was just like, you get jumped into the story, and the graphics in this at the beginning is beautiful.
Pretty wild, huh?
I'm loving the storyline so far. It starts off with aliens attacking the Earth and destroys it, so everybody has to get out of there as fast as they can.
Ring any bells?
And unfortunately, some people just don't survive. And that was just heartbreaking because, you want everybody to leave safely, but they're getting shot down.
Yeah, there's like lifeboats for every major city in the world, and only a few of them get through. And this one gets through, and eventually it gets attacked by some aliens, and they crash land on this planet Mira. They establish a colony.
Yes.
And they create New LA. And I just want to say something.
Yes!
We call it New Los Angeles.
New LA.
Isn't that such a great name?
I mean, I did see United States on the side, but when like New LA, I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like, I wonder what type of things they're gonna keep from New LA.
Because it's very different than the regular Xenoblade games, because they're more like fantasy, kind of like sci-fi.
Yeah, you're not really connected to
the real
Earth,
world.
To the real world or Earth. Like that, yeah.
And then this one you really kind of are, and so you establish a colony, and then you got to map out the planet and kind of get through the wilderness and the environments, and there's all these gigantic creatures and things.
Yeah, I love the monster designs. Like, thankfully that they're kind of like different everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Which I'm really enjoying. Very much reminds me of Avatar.
We were talking about that.
Yeah, we were kind of much like, oh, this is really Avatar.
Like Pandora.
Like Pandora, yeah. Like anything is out there to kill you type thing. And you just kind of want to, like, honestly, a dragon came by, like, during one of the intros. I'm like, I will get you.
Eventually, right?
I promise I will get you.
We need to learn to play nice with these guys if we're going to try and coexist together.
Yeah, and it's right. It's like Xenoblade Chronicles in that way.
Yes.
Is that when you're running around, you can see the level of the characters. You're like, oh, I'm staying away from this.
Yeah, but they also show like an eyeball. Like if they see you or catch you, they will come after you.
Yeah.
So that's a good indication that you want to avoid them.
You want to avoid them.
Stuff nice. Move in and do some damage.
Now, what do you think about the combat?
Okay, the combat at the beginning was really kind of weird because I remember with the previous Xenoblades, it's kind of like automatic.
Yeah.
So when I was reading it, it's like, okay, you have to go up to them and then click R1s. And I couldn't figure it out, and you did it. You're like, well, it's easy, it's this. I'm like, because I was just holding it down.
Right.
Because I'm just so used to in my brain with controllers that you have to like really kind of like signal that you're doing it.
Yeah.
But I'll admit, it's pretty fun. I like that a choice between the gun and a knife.
Right.
And then I'm just shooting them down. And of course you have to wait because it overheats and things like that, which is fine.
That's kind of like the turn-based and then making you wait. Yeah.
Though it is enjoyable. I got some other characters with me, so they help me as well.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to continue on with more battles and what other things I get to fight.
Oh yeah, you fighting that giant boss character in the beginning there was so cool. I just love it, how you just hold the gun and you walk it backwards, you know, do. It's so cool. And I know there's a lot of people out there that don't like Avatar the movie. That's okay.
That's okay.
But we kind of really do. We really
love
like,
it.
we like the Avatar universe. And it does feel that you get to go out in this hazardous world and survive the elements and try to protect New LA.
Yeah.
And also, the thing that you pointed out, you get mech suits. You get robot suits in this one.
Yes,
And
that's gonna be fun.
yeah, oh my god, those are so cool. And that was one of the things in the original, I was like, I love it. And I just want to show...
I know you love those mech suits.
Yeah, like let's just show that one of the mech suits here from the original. This is the Wii U version from 10 years ago. There was even a strategy guide back then that came out, and a special edition that is somewhere up in my collection. I was looking for it just before I did the episode. I'm like, where are you? And it was a really nice looking special edition. There is no special edition for this version of the game.
Well.
Which is okay, because what we're getting here, because I know you didn't play the original, is updated textures.
Yeah.
And they've updated some of the music and some of the sounds, and we're going to get to that in a second.
We're going to get to that.
I do want to say there's something very interesting that people have discovered in this game.
What's that?
In some of the coding, and this is beyond me, I'm not one of these coding guys or anything, but what I read online is there's a 60 frames a second mode in this, but you can't activate it on the regular Nintendo Switch. So people are speculating, it's speculation, I might be wrong about this by the time this video comes out, that maybe with the Switch 2, there's a way to unlock some backwards compatibility with this game to make it 60 frames a second. That's something I just read and I got kind of excited about
I
it.
trust you on that. Like that's
Whoa,
over my head.
Let's just to see which direction they go there. But it was really kind of a fascinating thing that I did read up on. One thing I do find funny about this game, with all the technology and the big ship battles and planets blowing up and sending lifeboats into space and recolonizing other planets, it's only the year 2054.
I saw that. I'm like, excuse me?
July 2054 AD.
I know, I'm like, what? And I'm
so advanced.
If it was any other game, I'd say, who cares, right? It doesn't matter. But because they have the United States on it, they brought it to the real world, that you kind of feel connected to it in a strange sense of the way. You're like, wow, technology's really come a long way.
Maybe put like 2, 1 in front.
That's a better 2,000, 2,252.
Yeah, something a little bit more extreme.
A little bit further ahead. Even though those guys in that year would be like, oh, we don't have this technology even now. But it's kind of, some of those kind of like little things that kind of I thought were really kind of funny. So here we have to talk about, what do you not like about the game?
I'll admit, I find a lot of the characters' faces deadpanned.
Yeah.
I was just kind of like, ooh, like this is kind of like a situation. Are we kind of more scared? Are we more excited? They're just like, I'm like, oh.
I know.
But you mentioned it was from 10 years ago. And I'm expecting for it to be updated.
Yeah, why are they
now.
not updated now?
Why are they not smiling correctly?
Yeah, no, the characters are all very just like, there's just no emotion going on there.
No.
And a lot of the buildings and things in the cities are very plain Jane.
Yeah.
Because it was a product of its time, and it was really something else in the Wii U. And at the time, I remember downloading all the texture packs that you had to download for it to give it this extra, vibrancy back then. And I thought that was really cool. And this one is being updated, and it does look good, but it is a product of that time. But I'll say this much, we're near the end of the Switch 1's lifespan, and what a game to go out on. I think it's really fantastic if you like RPGs, it's pretty cool.
I appreciate it.
So what else do you not like?
I gotta admit, not the biggest fan of some of the music.
This is really funny because 10 years ago when I played the game, it was one of my criticisms. I'm like, this music at times just sounds like people are banging instruments
away.
together.
Yes.
Where there's also some music later on in the game when you get the mech suits is really, really good.
Okay.
But some of the music is just kind of like average.
I know. It's been following me for a while now. I didn't want to alarm you.
But then again, when you get outside of the colony of New LA and you start wandering around, that music
It's
sounds...
very atmospheric. I do enjoy
Yeah, it feels like you're walking into an alien jungle, and it's scary, it's terrifying, and that music works well. But when you're running around the city, and it's just like dun dun dun. I remember 10 years ago, I was like,
Volume down.
Yeah, I was kind of like, and I'm a big lover of video game RPG music. And this music, it's weird because some of it is like averagey and some of it's pretty good. So it's a really mixed bag. Yeah, that's one of the down things of this game, but I noticed that some of the music was updated a little bit and a little bit better, so you can make of that as you will. So rounding it all out, what has your experience been so far of the whole thing?
Very positive. I mean, I love that you can run in this game.
Yeah.
Right? I love that you can collect all those diamonds, which is very addictive. I love that we got missions to do side quests. Like, as soon as that happened and we opened up the map, I started laughing. I'm like, oh, John, I am not gonna see you for like months.
I know, I remember that you put a thing in to map out the entire world, and all of a sudden it went du-du-du-du-du-du. And Kim's like, oh my god, she's going through the map, and I'm like, looking at all the hexagons, I'm like, oh my god, like,
Yes.
Yeah, I remember the game overwhelming me back then. I was like, this is quite a lot. I remember that Christmas there was so many games, and Xenoblade Chronicles X kind of got lost for me.
Oh, did it?
And yeah, and that's why we made an episode years ago saying, this is one of the games that we want to finish, bucket list game. So this game will get finished by the Kim Meister.
Oh, I'm doing it. This has to be done on my list. And of course, the one thing I will say about this game, I love that when you change your outfits,
Yes.
it actually sticks to the character. Something about that is always so much fun. I think I got spoiled when you first gave me Dragon Quest IX because you got to pick the outfits.
Right.
And as soon as I get that in the games, I love it because when you're running around, it sticks with you. So you get kind of more control of your character,
Yeah,
which I've always enjoyed.
Yeah, it just feels like, oh wow, my character looks like what I'm holding.
Yes, and personality in a way.
Yeah, and it makes it more relatable to you. They're like, this is my character. I remember when your character finally got the black suit, you're like, oh, she looks so cool now.
Love it.
Give it a try.
Yeah, it's fascinating with the Xenoblade Chronicles series in general. There was Xenoblade Chronicles, the first one, and then all of a sudden there was Xenoblade Chronicles X, which was not kind of related to the first one. A lot of people are surmising that it is in some ways. But then all of a sudden we got Xenoblade Chronicles 2, then Torna, and then 3, and we kind of left the Xenoblade Chronicles X series alone. And that's kind of like a crying shame, because this is a fascinating game into its own right, and I think it has a crazy amount of fans of this particular game here that are saying, yeah, I like all the Xenoblade games as well, but this game really means something to me. I love the mech suits, I love all that kind of stuff. This game has a dedicated cult audience that are very happy that this game has gotten updated. I remember when they announced this for a trailer, they're saying, we're bringing the game back. I was like, thank God, we finally get to play this game on the Switch, because a lot of people didn't have a Wii U back in the day, which is so wild. And there's a few of us that had this game, and we were like, hey, this is pretty cool. And so it's great that a whole bunch of brand new people can experience this game on the Nintendo Switch. So Kim, I'm going to say it right now with the audience, goodbye.
Goodbye, I'll see you in about 100, 200 hours.
I think it's more like 150 hours it's going to get to that crazy bit. And we'll ask you guys, are you picking up Xenoblade Chronicles X, the definitive edition? Are you a fan? Have you ever played it before? Are you looking forward to playing it now for the very first time? Let us know down below. So anyways, guys, until next time.